introduce to you the man of the hour, Tony.
Hello and welcome back to
At the Gates Podcast.
At the Gates Podcast.
BallhawkFest edition.
Yes, that is At the Gates BallhawkFest edition.
Nice.
Please state your name for the record.
TK Kruger.
Chelsea.
Alex.
David.
I'm Groot.
That's BallhawkFest for you.
Nate Doppler.
No, that was James Larson, and this is Nate Doppler, and Mateo thinks he's funny.
I'm Nate Doppler.
I'm still Groot.
He's still BallhawkFest.
Can we get some clarification that this...
So, Alex, what did we just do today?
We played softball.
And Dave, how was it? Sorry,
It was fun.
not Dave, Mr. Home Run.
Nah, it wasn't Mr. Home Run. It was fun. The ball went a long way, and we didn't have a fence, so we had to guess. And Mateo caught a lot of home runs that would have been, took them away.
Mateo earned Ball Hawk of the game because he
Yeah.
caught the most.
He did.
And then
Jimmy hit
James.
the most ground balls. There's got to be an award for ground balls.
The Twins are hiring me for IO. I'm just not going to do the O part. I'm a hell of a ground ball hitter.
You also kind of look like a toucher with those sunglasses.
Yeah, thank you.
Nate?
What's going on?
Nate's recording me as I'm recording
For
him.
my video. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah. What did you think of Ballhawk Fest festivities?
I mean, it was fun. I mean, our team didn't do so well in the home run derby, but it was cool watching everyone put on a show. Who was on the team? It was me, you, Alex, and
Nate Doppler.
and Jimbo. Yeah, Jimbo was lackluster, so was I. But I mean, hey, we had fun.
That we did. And when it comes to what was your role in Ballhawk Fest? The only girl?
I was guarding Evie from eating.
You were the dog handler?
Yes.
And is that going to be your profession maybe?
That would be fun.
So if you need any dog handling duties at Ballhawk Fest, we have one.
Should have hit on our team, then he could have been for the winner.
It's true. Wait, hit on your team?
Something like that.
So, Dave, explain what hat you are wearing and why you are wearing it.
I'm wearing a Dodgers hat that I purchased at Dodger Stadium, and I'm wearing it because of the piss poor job the Twins did in trading Mr. Dozier. So I hope that the Dodgers win the World Series and that he gets to enjoy some winning in an organization that actually spends when they want to win.
And just for the record, you don't believe that the trade of Brian Dozier was necessarily a bad thing, correct? But it's the execution of that trade that was piss poor?
Correct. I think the trade for Dozier should have been done probably 3 years ago, because clearly they had no intent on signing him this year, and they gambled going into this year thinking that he'd be on one of his tears, and when they traded him, they'd do well. So the front office, as usual, being cheap, cost them, and they ended up getting two maybe prospects and a crappy second baseman for a franchise second baseman in Dozier. So I'm not happy with that.
Apologies to Logan Forsythe, who listens to this show.
I like Logan, but he was nothing more than a money switch out. The Twins have no intent to do anything with him.
Very true. And Mateo, Ballhawk Fest, you have been Ballhawk Fest for a while. How does this stack up against other Ballhawk Fests that you've attended? How about first list the ones that you've attended?
I have attended BallhawkFest. There have been other ones that I have not attended. The ones that I've attended are 2011, 2013, have the shirt from 2012, didn't end up going to 2012, 2014, 2015, and now 2018.
And which cities were those in?
Those were in order: Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and New York City.
And do you want to shout out and put maybe Hampel on blast for missing this one? Because, I mean, he's clearly missing a classic right here.
Well, yeah, so Zach, I mean, I get why you're not coming, but, like, you should still come. You have a busy schedule. Like, just make BallhawkFest part of it. I will.
He hasn't been here this year.
He hasn't been here this year.
And if he wants 100 balls at each location, he's going to have to hit target field sometime.
Yes, that is true. Zach, you need to come back to target field. There's a record that stands. It's not yours, so I think you need to fix that. Also, I'm less concerned about Zach. All of you East Coast Ballhawks, like, Minnesota is not that far away. It is a 3-hour plane ride. Come out, join us.
We're chasing commemoratives today.
We
Yes.
are chasing commemoratives. We have a 50th anniversary A's commemorative in the balance.
Do you know what those look like?
I mean, I do.
Any particular reason? Maybe what happened Thursday?
So Thursday, I believe we had 3-4 Ballhawks here that acquired a commemorative. So the A's are using them. They're out in full force, and hopefully we can get our stragglers a couple commemoratives today.
Very true. I think it was 4 because it was you, me, Jimbo, and Dave all on the board from Thursday. And just to recap, like, where are you from and what do you call home now?
Where am I from? So I'm from Colombia, Bogota, Colombia. Was born there. And I call home the place I live. That's where I call home now.
The longest serving home was East Coast, correct?
Well, I mean, I didn't live on the coast. I lived in a house.
I don't think so. Not
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
Yeah, I was, like, so let me clear up this long-held belief. I wasn't living on the streets. I wasn't living on the beach. There was a place that I went to at night that had a bed and stuff.
And it wasn't a single family home, correct?
I mean, technically, it was an apartment. And there was a single family in there.
That's very true. A house is a home that I don't know where this is going.
I don't either, though I'm interested to see you keep bumbling, so.
But basically, you call Minnesota home now. I feel like it's a deeper understanding than just you're living here. It feels like, would you consider yourself an actual adopted Minnesotan at this point?
Actually, I was adopted by a Minnesotan. I was also adopted by a Californian. Those were my
True
parents.
facts.
Yeah.
But how about what you call home? Do you feel like it's more than just I'm living here? Do you actually feel connections to
So I actually
this
live
area?
in southeast Minneapolis.
That's not here?
No, we're further down.
I thought you lived at Target Field.
No, actually.
Are you not living at Target Field right now?
No, I'm currently at Target Field. I wouldn't.
Aren't you living here though? You're alive.
Yeah.
Embrace debate. Are you living somewhere if you're
I'm
just...
actually not within the confines of the gates yet.
I think you're still on Target Field property though.
Well, I would say I'm on the property of the Twins.
Are you though? Because it's not necessarily theirs. It's the city that financed it. So
I'm not on
I
Target Field
mean,
property.
technically you're on like
The property of the city.
state-owned land.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on public land right now.
Yeah.
So why are you wearing pants? Next up, why are you wearing pants?
Because my mom taught me that's the right thing to do. Is wear pants.
Good. You have short pants on.
Thanks.
I think, how many of us have short pants on? All of us except for one. Short pants. I really like your hat.
Thank you.
I paid the price for wearing short pants.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Get hurt.
So, who was your MVP of the game, Alex? You can say yourself. Don't worry.
I gotta go with Mateo.
Ooh, Robin Homers, that's what you like?
He caught a bunch, and he also got himself a few points for himself.
Who's your MVP of the game?
Our whole team. We just came in, we dominated, and we won. It's a team. There's no MVP. When you can
It's
ask
funny.
him like
We
that-
let him win, and all of a sudden he's all thinking that he's good.
The draft was the MVP of this team.
Wow.
I think it's
Who's your MVP of the game, 2K?
That was a good draft, Mateo.
Mateo, who's your MVP of the game? If you had to choose between Mateo, BallhawkFest, or Groot?
The screwdriver.
Ooh, that's true. Ooh, Mateo gets bonus points for MVP because he climbed up a fence, and not just a regular chain link fence, but an entire backstop, and got the screwdriver that we couldn't hit down with a softball and rock.
Yeah, Tony attempted. He just sucked at it.
It's true. Who's your MVP?
MVP, you know, in BP.
Do you know what MVP stands for?
I was gonna think of some funny acronym, but no, it's most valuable player. But you did pretty good in BP. You hit some shots at the end, but during the home run derby, I'd say Dave was probably the MVP. Dave hit a lot of bombs. Also, Caden.
Mighty Victory.
Caden, who's not here right now.
It's Mighty Victorious P9.
Caden had some nice bombs.
That's true. He kind of came out of nowhere because we really didn't get to see him.
So did TK.
TK.
Oh, okay. Let me say this. BP, I'm just going to say it did not look very promising, but in game, he came in clutch and he hit
dropping bombs.
I had to rob one of his home runs because he just kept hitting shots, and I was not expecting that. So
it seems like your MVP of the game was basically everyone.
You know, I'd say, I'm going to change it. I'm sorry, Dave, but I'd say my MVP is TK.
What happened on
Who's
TK's
your
last
MVP of the game?
Still did great.
My MVP of the game is going to have to be
Jesus.
Because he did the coin flip, and
yeah, it's the cross.
so that's what allowed us to have a good day out here.
Well, but that had you pick first, which should be an advantage.
No, not necessarily.
Because we got Theo Epstein by Mr. Dave over there. He Theo'd us.
I was dropped on my head.
Yeah,
Damn it, Theo. I ain't gonna lie to you. We did
So,
well. Theo Epstein is a mastermind.
Since you're really good at drafting, the Twins, how have they been doing at drafting?
Oof. Well, Terry Ryan was horrible, considering that he was drafting near the top of the board and he went after pitch to contact guys for years, and Terry
Or
Ryan
flamethrowers that he
Terry
molded into pitch to contact.
You're right.
guys.
Yes, absolutely. It was a horrific philosophy that was all about keeping money down because strikeout pitchers cost money. And that's the reality, and that's why they went that route.
And right now, strikeout pitchers are what drive the game because hitters strike out a lot.
Yes, it's a launch angle home run game, so strikeout pitchers are relevant, and we still like pitch to contact guys. So I understand one thing. Terry Ryan, under the Twins venue, was always told that he had an open checkbook, and that either makes him the dumbest general manager in the history of baseball or a liar. And I don't think he was that dumb. So look at the new regime. So far, they butchered last year. I mean, there's no way around it. They butchered last year. They didn't pick up anybody at the trade deadline, and what's even worse is at the waiver deadline, when they were 4 games ahead in the wild card, they did nothing to upgrade the team because they didn't want to spend money. This year, I don't really blame on the front office. You can't blame Buxton and Sano on the front office. You can't blame Polanco, and you can't blame Irvin Santana. That was just all bad luck. So
and they finally did something that the Twins haven't done, and that's make moves at the deadline and actually make trades. Now, were they the best trades right now? No, but at least we started to do that. And
yeah, I agree with that. I agree that this could be okay in the long run. I think everything's money first with this team, and that bothers me because we're not a small market team. We're a high mid-market team. When is the last time you heard about the revenue from the stadium? You don't hear about the revenue from the stadium.
Are you saying that there's no revenue from the stadium?
No,
Are we going broke?
There's a massive amount of revenue from the stadium that you're not going to hear about.
Metrodome size, right?
About 10 times the Metrodome size would be my guess. So anyway, back to the front office. We'll see. I'm a little nervous thinking that they're very Terry Ryan-ish with the spending so far. This year they signed a lot of guys, but they signed them to 1-year deals, which is technically smart, but it does not build chemistry. They're mercenaries out for their contracts, so we'll see.
Although Lance Lynn sure is looking good for the Yankees right now, huh?
I think that trade, though, that was of all the trades they did, I thought Tyler Austin was a steal.
Yeah, that was, but it's kind of funny to see Lance just immediately turn it around and become the pitcher that we hoped that he was.
Uncanny. I thought the signing of Lynn actually was pretty good because I thought he'd be pissed off and want to do really, really well to get a contract, but It is what it is.
So if you were to tell someone who hasn't been to Target Field yet, what is the selling point for them to come to Target Field and do what we do, and that's catch baseballs? Like, what's the best thing?
The only thing that's good is the state fair is going on and school's starting, and the crowds will be minimal, and it'll be a fun place to go ball hawk because the Twins are going to suck for the rest of the year. So this will be a place to go out and enjoy small crowds, and it's still a good atmosphere. Target Field it's a good place to watch a ball game. It's not necessarily the greatest place to ball hawk, but less people here, better odds.
TK, what do you think is the good shining point about catching baseballs at Target Field?
You got to go to the spots that have nobody by them, then you're in an okay spot.
And I would say that there's some pretty friendly people, especially like the Bat Boys and stuff. It's compared to other places in the league. I mean, at least we're a little bit more on the friendly side.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a safe, fun venue in that regard. I agree.
Jimbo, what's the positive thing about ball hawking at Target Field? What's the good aspect for someone who hasn't been here?
Just the atmosphere. I feel like it's got a good atmosphere to it. I like coming here, and it's not the easiest, but you can work it.
I think it's gotten better since the beginning. It's only getting better here.
Plaza's a fun place to hang out and catch some longer BP home runs. It's fun.
Longer dongs.
Longer dongs.
Jimbo's all about the long dongs.
Long dongs.
So the question is just like, what's good about ball hawking here?
Yeah, especially for someone who hasn't been here.
Okay, just want to clarify. Okay, honestly, Target Field, obviously it's not the best stadium to ball hawk at, but there are some good parts. Like, as Jimbo said, the plaza. I absolutely love the plaza. Compared to the bleachers, I hate the bleachers. I cannot navigate in them. I'm just bad at navigating through the seats. But out here in the plaza, I can run around like crazy. I mean, the other day I just got 2 Bell home runs on the fly. Was able to maneuver around everyone, even in big crowds. But out in the bleachers,
Not so much.
if there's like no one out there, I still can't get around. It's terrible.
Mateo, for someone who hasn't been at Target Field yet, but wants to ball hawk here, what's the positive thing that you would tell them about this stadium in order to get them to come here?
There's baseball there.
And it's relatively cheap compared to some places, right?
I would say during the fall and the springtime. Basically, during the school year, Target Field has a disproportionate drop in price.
Especially when football begins and even when hockey is playing. Because if the Wild are in the playoffs, especially early on in the season, people don't really show up.
Exactly, because of the fact that Minneapolis is the smallest market in the country that has all 4 of the big 4 professional sports teams, in addition to an MLS club.
And WNBA?
Yes, and WNBA. There is a ton of competition in the market for a sports fan's dollars to get in the seats, and the more competition you have with those, the less you're going to see people at Target Field.
And really, I would suggest people to go to the third market. Don't go direct with the team. Look on StubHub, SeatGeek, those type of places. It's going to be very cheap. So, last but not least, how do you feel about this group of weirdos at BallhawkFest? How has it been looking on as a non-ball hawker? And the only girl.
I think it's pretty cool. I think you guys are a pretty tight group. So.
Tight, like as in like what the rap guys say?
No comment.
How would you spell that? Like regular TIGHT or TYTE?
Regular.
Oh, bummer. Sorry, Tight Jeff, if you're listening to this.
Now I feel bad.
So, grade our performance overall as a group.
Like 1 to 10 or like A through?
Whatever you want. You tell us the range and then you give us the grade.
Thumbs way up.
Thumbs up our asses. All right. Well, that concludes this episode. Wait, who's your MVP?
You are.
Who?
You, Tony.
No, that's not true.
Tony.
No, that's because you're blind. You're biased.
That's okay.
Alex, did I already ask you what the selling point to Target Field would be for a non-regular ball hawk here?
It definitely has charm, but it wears off. I wouldn't recommend coming here repeatedly like all of us do, but I think everyone needs to visit it at some point.
Agreed. And I think that's one of the deals where I think you and I, in our travels, have seen a lot of really good stadiums. And early on here, I think that we thought that this was a very top 5, top 10, whatever ballpark. But now, not as much. I'd say it's middle of the road.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't really have anything to make it stand out from the others, and combined with the poor attendance and the poor play of the Twins, it doesn't have the atmosphere that other stadiums might have. Right in the middle.
How do you feel about Bat and Barrel, though, now?
Honestly, it's always been the same, whether it was the Metropolitan Club or Bat and Barrel. I like that they opened it up to everyone now, but it's always been a good place to hang out before the game.
I think I have mixed emotions about it, because as much as the MLB really pumps the alcohol and partying and all that kind of stuff to get to a game, not so much the game itself, but if you're looking for a really nice, basically, bar and grill that's attached to a ballpark, you probably can't get much better than Bat and Barrel. The sight line looks really cool. You have a shit ton of TVs in there. It's just overall really nicely modeled in there. You get to see some memorabilia, gold gloves, all that stuff. So what's the one hidden area that you would tell people that aren't from here that might not know everything about the stadium? Like, what's the hidden trick, the hidden secret about Target Field?
I would head to the upper deck in center field to Minnie and Paul's right above catch. You have a couple of premium food places up there and a drink rail that lets you view the game while you eat your food. It's a great place.
And it's still kind of a hidden gem at this point?
I feel like it. It's always hopping up there, but it's definitely the place to be if you want to have a good standing room view while eating food.
And not have to have a special ticket like the Budweiser roof deck, right?
Definitely.
Great. Now I think we're signing off. Any last words? Anything that you want to say?
Everyone who didn't come to BallhawkFest 2018, why didn't you come? I mean, could have been fun, but hey, we're going to have fun, and not as much competition, so that's an upside. So I'm just glad to be here. Hopefully my streak doesn't die today, and I'm hoping to get a commemorative ball, maybe get Chris Davis's 40th home run. Hope it goes well.
And that was Dayton Uppler, right?
That was Nate Duppler.
I'd like to thank not only God, but Jesus for this opportunity.
You're welcome, remember?
Yes, thank you. I am your first disciple.
Anything you want to say to the people?
I'm good.
He's good.
Bye.
Bye. Dave's watching. Bye-bye.